I'm Diane, and I painted Life is a Journey of Connections. The inspiration for this came from a little trip I went out to the Bamboo Land, I think that's what it's called, and it reminded me of my mum, who stayed here in Hervey Bay for a while and took me out there to look at it. And I was thinking of connections, and I was overwhelmed by all these different types of connections that one has. And that was the inspiration. So life is a journey of connections became the theme of this painting. But the important part is I started seeing the connections as not just being the connections to the people around you, which is the obvious one, friends and family, but it became the connections to the past and the present, to the things that we've learned, the things we're going to learn. It came to a whole lot of things. The interesting parts about the connections to color and nature. And then I got to thinking of the current challenges that we have in society, and that came from my studying, because I've just recently done a doctorate in this, and that is the digital age. And there I was studying that what came out of my research was that we're in fact in a new environment that we don't understand, mentally, physically, emotionally. And we're relearning. So just as you all had to learn to breathe air, or fish had to breathe water, we've got to learn to understand zeros and ones. And so I started seeing, how do I pull all of this together, and realized it was this complex arrangement of different connections to the past, to the present, to colors, to history, to styles of learning, to all kinds of things. So that's the background to it. I'm currently trying to develop my own, my personal style of painting. So I've moved from the realism and that type of thing that one does when you start out painting, and I've got going into abstraction. And my method for doing that is to take a photograph and then I abstract the points of interest that matter to me. And then from that emerges the style of painting that I will use to express that bit. So in the top left-hand corner, I've got more realism. So that's sort of the vague, hazy background with the trees and things like that. And that's the realism, that's the known, that's what we do, that's what we know and are familiar with in art. And then I've used the principle of the golden spiral, which is a technique for actually drawing the viewer's eye into the painting, which spirals down from the top right-hand corner to the focal point of the picture. And that there takes you from abstract birds that were sort of kind of fronds of the leaves that could be seen as a bird or a frond, brings you down through the spiral staircase to the center of the painting, which has now gone into, it's gone through surrealism, so all those traumatic years of the midlife crisis and all that sort of stuff, through to the center of the painting, which is now, what am I going to do now? Where do I live from now? The reason why Hervey Bay is so important, why this whole project inspired me, is it is the connections that I made and that my mum made when she came and retired here. Hervey Bay is the most amazing city for connecting and healing people. Now, those that are busy running the city and that might not have time to sit down and do it, but in fact, just the simple act of walking on the beach, going and sitting on a bench, somebody will stop and talk to you. You can find somebody to talk to. Everybody can make connections. Then it's not just the people you make the connections to, it's you making connections to nature, to the sea, to the waves. And just the very nature of Hervey Bay, because it hasn't got the pounding, crashing waves and surf, which yes, is great for surfers, but that soothing healing is just amazing. And that's why you've got such a large retirement community. But yes, no, and that is my reason for coming back. It is a place where you can easily make connections anywhere, of any type, to anyone. Ideal name for this project.